Welcome back to MLS Cafe. This is episode 3, and we have a lot in store today. We have a new segment, Notable News. We'll be getting to that in about 2 minutes, but I do want to give you a little hint and I guess intro of what this episode is going to entail. We have Bret Halsey coming on in about 20 minutes, and that was our interview this week. He's the former 7th overall pick from the Major League Soccer Super Draft. Real Salt Lake is happy to have him, and we were thrilled to have him on this episode as well. He was a whole lot of fun, and we can't wait to show you guys.
Again, there was a couple of great games this week. I feel like every single week has been fantastic, just with the goals, the bangers, the matchups, the controversy. The one good thing I like about this season is the spice that's happening. You know, there's so many controversial plays, so many weird quotes, so I love that.
Exactly. I mean, we have a lot of that to get to today. And as you're saying, this season has just been so, electrifying. It's been so strange in comparisons to the start of other seasons. You got to remember, we're only like week 3, week 4. Like, we're getting in there right now. It just started. And some of the plays we've seen, some of the goals we've seen, the fact that we already have goal of the year nominations, player of the year, comeback of the year. I mean, it's been crazy. We do have comeback of the year turned flop, though, but we'll get to that in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, like you said, it's only the 3rd week, but we're in deep. We're in the deep end right now, trying to stay afloat. We're drowning, dude, in all this news, all this content.
And speaking about news, I think it's time to get to our newest segment, Notable News. I think the biggest thing to say right now is that new tradition born in Utah. Tell me about it, Poppy.
Yeah, man. As we said before last week, David Ochoa punted the ball into the stands.
What a boss move.
In Minnesota supporters section. And RSL's kind of took it upon themselves to make that a tradition. Like you said, a signed ball. He's going to be punting into the stands every single home game at Rio Tinto Stadium. And you love to see it again. They're taking a negative and making it into a positive.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I think had a lot of attention in the previous week, and then all of a sudden now it's this new tradition they're rolling with. I think that's just absolutely insane.
And they're also in the news for other reasons, RSL. 2 wins on the season, 2 in a row. They're the only team that is only has a winning record. They have no ties, no losses, nothing like that. And they're currently tied for first place in the West.
And talking about some other news, what about FC Dallas absolutely stomping the Portland Timbers?
Man, dude, absolute stompage. Well, it goes like this. It goes from stompage to Stokeage for me. First they were stomped by San Jose, and now they stomp Portland Timbers, like you said, 4-1. It's a crazy comeback, and that was all without Paxton Pomykal still not starting. I feel like he should.
And we're talking right now about what you were saying, which is some major Stokeage and major disappointments. Those are other segments on the show. For me, the most major anything is Paxton. Why is Paxton Pomykal just not starting every single game? I mean, he's a great player. He's one of our favorites, and we're NYCFC fans. We've been advocates of Paxton Pom since day one, and he's one of my most beloved USMNT guys, and I really want to see him getting some more minutes. I'm unhappy with FC Dallas in that term. I mean, yeah, that's a great game they played, but I want to see him.
Yeah, for me, dude, Paxton's packing. He's ready to explode onto the big stage. So
yeah, wow.
Let's see what's happening with Paxton.
Very selective choice of words there, and I like it. I like that you shot from the hip there, and we're all listening to that.
I like that too. Some wordplay on top of wordplay right there.
I like that.
Wordplay inception.
I made mine a little more difficult to pick up on.
But yeah, just back to Dallas, man. Again, Luchi Gonzalez, I love how he mixes old with the new. The academy talent. I feel like Dallas has the best homegrown. I feel like everybody knows about that. They have the best academy, best homegrowns in the whole entire Major League Soccer. So I love how he mixes it up, between the players. And then Bresson scoring too that game, a double.
I know, and I'm really happy about that too. He's another player that we always talk about, and I know a lot of our viewers and listeners are FC Dallas fans. So I just know everyone that's listening to this definitely enjoyed that.
Which I feel like is kind of weird too, because with FC Dallas, they don't really have too many fans going to the games, but yet I feel like half our fan base is just FC Dallas fans.
Yeah, I mean, we probably have more FC Dallas fans, viewers, and listeners here than they do at their own stadium.
Maybe they're killing the bot game. I don't know. But,
maybe. I don't know what's going on, but hey, they're doing a good job by our terms.
And also, dude, should we go to the third bit of news real quick?
You're going to tell me about Toronto?
I am,
Tell
again.
me all about it.
They're wheeling and dealing. Again, we thought Jefferson was going to be the first of the only signings really made by Toronto, but then they go ahead and they get Kamar Lawrence from Anderlecht in Belgium, which
that's a great pickup. I mean, that's no secret. That's a great pickup. 2 great pickups by the club in the last week, and words can't describe how happy Toronto fans have to be, especially being down their creative man on the pitch, Pozuelo. I mean, look how that team has fallen apart to start this season. It's incredible how one player can really dictate a whole team.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, again, they're on a losing trend right now. They're losing, they're tying games, they're not doing too good. So any bit of help is really going to help them out. Kamar Lawrence, he's a veteran in Major League Soccer with the Red Bulls for, I believe, 4 or 5 seasons?
Yeah, it was a couple of years in, I'll tell you that. But back to what we were saying, I mean, those pickups just in general, just really focusing on them, how much of an impact do you think that's going to have on Toronto?
Well, speaking of impact, I wish that, Montreal had that old logo, man, the old name, CF. I feel like one day that will be a major disappointment, but
it is.
Just these new signings, man, again, they need every single signing that they can get their hands on. Without Pozuelo, they're nothing. That's why I like Jefferson. It brings creativity to the squad. But other than that, I still see some holes in that lineup.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. When Pozuelo is healthy, I mean, just having those creative guys on the same roster is just an incredible thing in my eyes.
And also as well, Josie Altidore, he's getting older. He's injured every single game. I see some weaknesses in that number 9 position. Ayo Akinola is a beast, but still he's probably going to be gone very soon. But then I'm happy that they do have Mavinga back.
Yes, Mavinga, we're big advocates of Mavinga. We talk about him a ton on our YouTube channel. And if that's where you guys are watching right now, thank you so much. And if you guys are listening to it, that is Bench Kings on YouTube. But with that being said, you were talking about Altidore. Oh my God. Is this guy just completely lost his mind? I mean, everything from the tweets, then to him still thinking that he's the best for the USMNT. I mean, and now back to just watching him in the CCL, those games. I mean, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. I'm just so sick and tired of seeing this guy. I'm so sick and tired of hearing his name. I mean, there's not even inconsistent, more of a disappointing player in Major League Soccer, if you ask me. And as a United States fan, there was a time years ago where we loved him. I loved him, you loved him. And just looking at the downfall of this man's career and just who he's become in the eyes of soccer fans or football fans, depending on where you watch, it's hideous.
I have a question for you. Is he more disappointing on the field or off the field?
That's the thing.
That's a hard question.
It's incredible that the biggest competition in Josie's life right now is where he wants and who he wants to disappoint more. Does he want to look like a fool online, or does he want to look like a fool on the pitch? Because honestly, he's just looking terrible everywhere. So I can't even answer that question. I like to give answers and I like to be funny, but I'm just not even making a joke. The guy sucks.
He would call himself nice with a little bit of spice, And again, though, I feel like spice is definitely a main topic this Major League Soccer season.
Yeah, and talking about different kinds of spices or maybe starches, I'm not too sure. So we transition into our next segment right now of Who Spilt the Beans?
Who Spilt the Beans?
So for me, there was a lot, I feel like, this week. One of them was the Kobe, man. Holling said, so this is what happened. This is what I think what happened. I watched the game. So he changes out the ball right on the sideline, so he wastes a little bit of time. Giovanni Savarese says something to him. Again, that's Portland's coach. So then he goes to do a fake throw and like a fake shot at Gio's face. He doesn't flinch, bro. He just stands his ground. I feel like Holling said was looking like a fool after that.
I agree. With that being said, I have another one I want to bring up right now. But there's a quote I want to share, and there's some explicit language in there. Am I allowed to share that on the air?
I guess, it's our podcast, our show. I guess
say it. Okay, I'm going to pull this up right here for you guys. I hope you heard that paper flick. Jim Curtin, Philadelphia's coach, had this to say about Heinz, Atlanta's coach, after their 1-1 tie at Subaru Park in the second leg. You guys ready for this? Because this is some coach-to-coach lethal.
You're going to hit an accent on that?
Should I give an accent?
Give a slight accent, I feel.
What kind of accent we feeling?
I would say kind of like British.
British. I can't do a British.
Maybe like British-Spanish hybrid.
I'm just gonna read it. I'm sorry.
Like South African?
I'm just gonna read this. He's a great player and a great coach, but you can still be a sore loser and an asshole after a game. Now here's the thing, I would have gave an accent. If you guys watch our channel on YouTube, we do a lot of different voices. We do Scooby-Doo, we do Hulk Hogan, and we take those very to heart. So I didn't know if I wanted to read that in Scooby-Doo's voice.
You'll see Hulk later. You'll see Hulk later, guys.
Yes, you will. That's another segment we have planned. But wow, yikes. That's a hot thing to say from a coach. I feel like coaches and players this year have just had a lot to say going into this Major League Soccer season. And honestly, I tip my hat. I think that's a baller move.
Well, I think it's super baller. He complimented him, but yet 2 seconds later, 3 words later, actually, he, backslapped him.
He gave him that backhand compliment of your shoes look nice for a fat guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you start your sentence out with anything that's a positive, you can really say anything after.
Exactly.
Everything's on the table after that.
What do you call me fat for? What are you talking about? I said you got nice shoes.
Yeah, dude, that was a better move by Jimmy, I would say.
Yeah, I really like it.
He calls him a great coach, and he calls him out.
Call.
Yeah.
I really liked how he handled that.
He pulled the curtain down, man. And he called it a show.
He called it a show. Lights, camera, and action. But Atlanta and Philly, oof.
Atlanta's obviously out. That was after the second leg of the CCL, which they tied, but again, it was 4-1 in aggregate. So Atlanta's out, Philly's still in. And to be honest, I think they're going to get stomped against Club America in the semifinal.
I mean, that's the thing. Listen, all of us Major League Soccer supporters are cheering for you, Philadelphia, right now in the CCL. But with that being said, it's the CONCACAF. anything can happen. This VAR, as we were talking about last week, is just an absolute joke. I mean, we're probably going to be talking about that a lot this episode as well, but I don't understand. Back to last week, I believe it was Porter who said this too, and I'm still standing by him. How do you implement a VAR system into a tournament? It's either you start off with it or you don't have it at all. You can't just say you want to start using it now. Look how different some of these games have turned. Columbus Crew would still probably be with us. Instead, they had, little manhandling there by Monterrey.
And you saw what happened to Caleb Porter, man. This week, he got fined for his actions that he took after the game. Again, he kind of shitted on the CONCACAF refs with the VAR. The VAR not so veterans, as it was actually the first game working as a system, those refs with VAR. So, then again, I feel like those comments were just by Caleb Porter, but he did get fined for an undisclosed fee.
I listen here, and I'm not trying to sound like some crazy redneck here, but freedom of speech, man, speak your mind. And the fact that he got fined for that, I think makes just MLS in general just look like a joke.
Are you saying higher or lower than 1K for the fine?
Oh, has it been released yet? The final statement?
It's still undisclosed, the fee.
I could definitely see it being higher than 1K, and for a team and for a league that really can up their salary cap.
I think if anything, those refs should be fined, for their horrible performances throughout this tournament.
I agree. I think he did nothing wrong. I mean, you can share your displeasement. It's not like he said anything wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, he just shared his simple opinion, and turns out the other 40 trillion people that were watching, I wish, but all the other people that were watching seem to agree with you.
Freedom of speech, this is America, bro. I feel like freedom of speech should be a thing that we should all be, looking up to, striving to have in this nation.
Yeah.
And freedom of speech is not in CONCACAF right now.
Again, soccer leagues on our home soil.
Again, Caleb Porter can't speak his mind. I feel like now that's going to make a lot of players and coaches walk on eggshells, and they can't say anything, except Josie Altidore. He's always never afraid to speak his mind.
Make CONCACAF great again. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, that's what's got to happen. Make CONCACAF great again, bro. And with that, should we go to Americano Espresso?
Yes.
Or actually, Mocha Madness.
Sorry about it.
Mocha Madness, Plays of the Week.
Oh my God, you want to talk about a play? Can we talk about Nani again? What a goddamn blast. Absolutely skinned Kubo.
He did, man. This is back-to-back, bro. This isn't even his first time a Mocha Madness. This is a double mocha for him. Double mocha cappuccino.
Addiction. Yeah, this guy's, it's the double mocha chococino, frappuccino. I mean, this guy has been absolutely insane. If it was his goal last week, that little flick, or the goal we're watching right now.
Right now, again, this is video and audio. We're playing the video right now. And dude, that deserves for me the goal of the week. Again, I feel like the goal of the week didn't come out yet. I think it's still undisclosed 2-1 for this weekend's matches. But I feel like for me, it's got to be Nani. Either Nani or the next one that we're going to be talking about in a couple seconds.
And I'll lead into that.
But still, though, Nani, man, he's been killing this season. 2 goals in, 3 games now, right? 2 goals, 3 games.
And it pains me, as an NYCFC fan, that's just not what you want to see from your rival club in Orlando. We entered the league around the same time. So that hurts, but I got to give, hats off to Nani there. Incredible.
Especially because we're playing Orlando this week, man, which we're going to be live streaming again.
So hopefully we don't have Nani on next week with another great goal.
Hopefully not yet. Not against
Hopefully
us.
we have, Tati or somebody.
Yeah, Tati doing that Rabona again. Beautiful Rabona, man.
I hope so. You want to talk about this next one?
Let's do it, man. I'm going to play it right now. Jackson Ewell with the blast as well. A rocket on a volley. Beautiful technique. Just to hit it so cleanly like that. And I know people are saying it wasn't in the corner. The accuracy wasn't there. But you don't have to shoot the mark every single time. He set up a beautiful screen. There's 3 players ahead of him. That was like a basketball sequence. And he hit it into the back of the net, and that's all that matters.
I know, exactly. And I don't think I could explain that any better than you did. I mean, again, this is in video form as well. So if you guys are watching along with us instead of listening, you are watching these videos along with us. And and that brings us back to the first statement we made when this was beginning, this episode. How many great goals do we have already to start the MLS season?
Too many, man. I would say Ewell is looking yoked right now. 2 goals in 3 games. And then you have Cade Cowell absolutely lighting it up as well in San Jose. San Jose looks like a great team, and I hope there's many more crazy goals this weekend.
Me too.
And I think that is a Mocha Splash, actually, if I may say so myself.
Mocha Splash.
I still think the Mocha Splash is my favorite thing we have.
It definitely is. Yeah, that's definitely.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, if you guys are watching audio right now, definitely head over to video and just watch that little Mocha Splash, and then head back to audio.
Splash of culture. I love it.
Yeah, man, it really is a splash. And speaking of splash, should we go to Americano Espresso? Put a splash of sugar in there?
Before we do, I love how before we get into all these segments, we're like, yo, by the way, speaking of this, we're looking for that perfect transition.
Well, it's not only transition with video, it's transition with audio, That's what we're trying to do.
That's the thing. It's funny, I'm just picking up on it. But yes, let's go into
Americano Espresso.
Okay, there was a lot of big
God, yes,
things
there was.
in American soccer and in American culture. The first one being not Major League Soccer related, Christian Pulisic. You guys probably saw it. If you guys love American soccer, you definitely saw that game against Real Madrid and Chelsea. Again, he didn't start. He was visibly frustrated. But then when he came onto the pitch, came onto the game, he got a beautiful assist to Mason Mount, man. Putting Courtois on the ground for a second time.
Now, where do you put Christian Pulisic right now? How good has he been these last couple of weeks? I mean, I feel like he simmered down for quite some time, and all the attention was on Weston McKennie because he was just everywhere. I mean, if it was a goal, if it was an assist, if it was news, if it was a meme of his face, he was everywhere. But recently, it's all back to Pulisic. I mean, he has been so incredible and so fun to watch. I mean, the fact that he's getting the minutes right now is just unbelievable because he's capitalizing, I feel, every time he takes a step on that pitch. I mean, he's such an exciting player to watch, and I'm proud to call him an American.
You just said how good he is on Twitter, man. It's pretty funny. They're first saying he's not good enough for Chelsea. Now they're saying he's too good for Chelsea. It's kind of like Twitter's so sporadic, man. Anything can happen on Twitter. They're going from he's not good, now he's too good. And for me, I feel like I'm in the boat if he's too good, man. You know, again, he comes off. He's probably the best player that game coming off the bench. And he put on a show. And now in this final, I really want Christian Pulisic to start, as he should. Again, it's frustrating to see him not start after he has great performance after great performance.
Yeah, I agree. Cade Cowell, moving on, is our man of the week after having a goal and an assist against DC United.
Dose assist, bro.
Dose assist, really?
3 points of the day.
Well, if he wasn't already man of the week, now he definitely is.
It's crazy, man. He has 5 points in 3 games. He's literally on pace to get MVP of, the Major League Soccer season.
And what's even scarier is he's not even close to being in his prime.
He's not. He's only 17 years of age. He's still a minor. We actually tried to contact him, but he said he's too young to get a interview, so we're going to have to wait on that.
A case with Cowell here.
We did. A case with Cade.
A case with Caden.
But yeah, man, Cade is actually killing it, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's weird, too, because Cade and Caden, they're both crazy youngsters in Major League Soccer, and they both essentially have the same name.
I know. I keep saying the same thing, too. Like, when we do our live streams for these games, I'm constantly calling them the wrong name, and everyone's just like, you kidding me? I'm like, I'm trying, man. There's a lot of names here.
Someone's got to change their
on
name.
Their shoulders,
And not only is it Caden and Cade, it's Cowell and Clark. It's double C's,
I know.
man.
I'm like, come on. Can't it be like some really rare, like, German name and then just like a simple John Smith? No, it's got to be Clark and Cowell and Cade and Caden. I'm like, come on, you're killing us here.
Make it as confusing as possible.
The worst is going to be when they face each other. That's going to be an absolute hellstorm.
That's going to be hard for the announcers,
Yeah, hopefully we're not streaming those because I'm not looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to watching them. I'm just not looking forward to streaming it.
And also, they're both growing out gnarly flows, man. They both have the afro going on.
I
know. The only difference is Cade is now blonde, which I am liking the dye on Cade's hair.
Blondes have more fun, and he's definitely having fun on the pitch.
He is, man. He's killing it this season. And speaking of Caden, he also had a fantastic goal this week in a karate kick.
Yeah.
A karate kick for the Karate Kid, you could say.
Yeah, against the Chicago Fire, I believe it was.
Chi-Town, yes.
Yeah, against Chi-Town, and what a goal that was.
Absolute stunner. Again, the only goals he can score are stunners. It's so weird. He can't score a normal goal. I feel like if there's a tap and he's going to miss it just because.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just going to say that. So funny you said that. I was going to say I feel like he's going to be lined up perfectly for an open net and just send the ball to the moon. Absolutely sky. And some fan like 40 blocks away is going to be like, oh, it's about to go.
He's going to pull a David Ochoa?
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. But the difference is everyone's going to like it, But yeah, I think that's a great way to say it.
And he's probably going to be gone too at the end of the season. We keep saying it. Both are going to be gone. But, you got to love the future for American soccer. It's looking so promising as of now.
It's looking so promising like you were just saying. There's so many great players coming out of here. Now we just need the coach to get them all in line.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, that's our biggest fault.
We need a coach to lead, the artillery to maybe a World Cup in 2026. Again, I can't see it happening, but it could.
Now, that is the first half of this episode. We are now going to be joined with Bret Halsey, and I don't want to waste any time with an introduction. You guys will hear it all right now. Let us know what you think. We are now being joined with Bret Halsey, the former MLS superdraft 7th overall pick coming from Virginia. He's the ACC back-to-back team tournament legend himself. Welcome to MLS Cafe, and how are you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be on the show. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to it as well. And to start off, I have a very simple question to ask that everybody just loves hearing. It's a good question to have. How did you get into soccer growing up as a kid? And was going pro always the dream? Or was there another, more like realistic for set standards of dream that you had? Or has it always just been going pro?
Yeah, I feel like almost everyone tried playing soccer at some time in their lives. Almost everyone I know has played at some point.
Mhm.
And for me, the goal has always been to go pro. I mean, I've heard, countless times from people like that it's not realistic, blah blah blah. And I remember like specific instances, and that's kind of some of the things that helped me keep going, like doubters and whatnot. Yeah, I feel like I've always wanted to go pro. It didn't really become a reality until like the past few years, where I was like, can really make this work, and I'm very happy with how it turned out.
It's awesome to hear. And obviously, you graduated from the University of Virginia, one of the best soccer programs, I would say, in the United States. We got names like Jeff Angus, Tony Miola, Claudio Reyna, so many good names coming out of that same program now. With that being said, what do you think makes, the University of Virginia, so prestigious compared to other schools?
I feel like, I mean, obviously they do a really good job recruiting a lot of like high caliber talents and whatnot. I mean, in my class, I think by the time I left, so this year there's only like two guys left that originally came with me out of like the seven that are there, which like five of us have already gone pro, and I mean, no one has graduated yet. So within 3 years, more than half of the guys they brought in have gone pro. So I think they do a really good job of that, and it's just a lot of the environment. Like if you're in an environment where a lot of guys are coming, doing really well, going pro, I mean that's just like the standard. So yeah,
And how
probably
do you
just a
think
combination of those two things.
hmm yeah, how do you think it prepared you for, professional soccer now, Real Salt Lake? Like
Yeah,
any
well, I
certain
mean,
drills or anything?
I know Daryl. I mean, yeah, I think the way that we do things at Virginia was a little bit different from the way we did them at a club level, like at Loudon, which is where I'm from. That was my club team that I played for. We used to do like possession based stuff, and in Virginia it was a little bit different. Um, but at least in terms of like what they expected out of you every day, it's really not that much different from I'm experiencing now in MLS.
Exactly. Now at Virginia, I was looking up some names that went there. Daryl Dike, Henry Kessler, some big names. Now, Daryl Dike, he's a monster. How was it like, in
Yeah, that's
training
insane.
going against him?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine,
You know,
man.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when I first came into Virginia, you can imagine me like a 5'8", probably at the time, 135-pound guy, first year player coming in, and then Daryl on the other end. When he came in the first day, he was our biggest guy, 200 and
Yeah.
like 20 pounds already, like 6'2", and he's actually younger than me. So I mean, it was crazy going against him every day. But yeah, I feel like it's interesting to watch how he kind of transitioned. His transition from college. We came in at the same time, but he left a year earlier. In the pros, how he's doing. Obviously, he's doing really well. Guys like Henry and Joe Bell, and pretty much everybody that I was around. Honestly, when we made our run in 2019, we lost like half our team that year going pro. So yeah.
And do you still keep in touch with any of the people that you just discussed?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just talking. I was having like a mini debate with Daryl today about. I don't know if you were watching the Chelsea versus game, kind of
Yeah, we
contending that
did.
I
Well,
feel like
I missed
Pulisic
it, but
could
yeah.
eventually reach the level of. I was saying that Pulisic eventually could surpass Hazard, at least in my opinion. I feel like maybe he might get there one day, and Daryl was on the opposite side. So yeah, we talk pretty routinely.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm with you on that. I think
About
he could
stupid stuff,
definitely. I think he
Oh,
could
yeah.
definitely surpass Hazard, Christian
I mean,
Pulisic.
yeah, we're big fans of Captain America here. So now, moving on, you guys were runners up for the NCAA 2019 tournament at such a young age. What was that experience like for you, and how did it really impact and play a role in your formative years as a player?
Yeah, I mean it was great. I think the biggest things were probably the level we were playing at, the environment in terms of how many people were playing in front of, the visibility. I mean the pressure of that's, although you may look at it as kind of like a negative, obviously pressure. You don't like it in excess, but I mean it was great just to be in that environment in like a final, the semifinals as well. It was fantastic. And I think the visibility really helped our team in terms of making it to the next level.
Yeah. I mean, and of course, it has to help you take your game to the next level. Again, at those like your formative years and having that opportunity and that experience, it's just great to bring with you into the next chapter of your career. With that being
Yeah,
said, now for the
absolutely. I think
people
it's
that
something.
don't watch college soccer, what would you say is a good way to describe yourself as a player in a few keen words? And also, would you say wingback is your strongest and best position? Or is there a position you'd rather?
I would describe myself, I guess, as versatile, good on the ball, and willing to learn, which I think are, at least being versatile and willing to learn, are probably the two most like biggest attributes if you want to make it to the next level. There's a lot of times, like you said, although I may have a preferred position, whether that's in the midfield or right back or wherever it is. I may not get the opportunity to play there 100% of the time, so I have to be willing to put in the time and effort to learn another position, and flexible enough where I have the mindset that, no matter, I'll still like give 100% no matter where I'm at on the.
It's awesome to hear. And again, we brushed over this before. This past winter, drafted 7th, a fantastic accomplishment.
Yeah.
Now, how was it? Like, where were you? How was it when you finally found out that you're going to be a Real Salt Lake player officially?
Yeah, so this is a pretty crazy story. So I originally got info that I may be getting offered the Generation Adidas contract in November or maybe even October. So it was like months before the draft. And, in the months going up to it, I kind of, touching base with my agent, was like, what are there any updates, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, well, they're probably going to offer before the new year. And then the new year came and went, and I didn't get the offer. And so I was like, it's probably not going to end this year, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, I have a whole nother year at UVA. And then they came out, or they gave me a call on January 13th, and I was working on a group project at the time, like a January session class, and we were working like 8 hours a day because it was like a 2-week. And they called me at like 8:30 at night, and they were like, yeah, we're going to make you the offer. And it was just crazy because it was like a week before the draft, and I was not expecting it at all. And you had 4 days to decide. So that was a pretty crazy experience. And then I decided to do it. And then, I mean, I'll be honest, when I first got, when I saw that I was drafted to Salt Lake, I was like, Utah, I don't really know much about Utah besides skiing or whatever. My dad loves to ski. He was really happy.
That's awesome. I couldn't find anything.
A little on the fence. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I don't really know what's really out there. But I was excited just to be able to move. Obviously, it's been a dream, so that was amazing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different way of life over there too. I mean, especially coming from Virginia, I believe it was, and that's not too far from DC. Going from DC all the way out to Salt Lake. I mean, it's definitely a different lifestyle, I would say.
Yeah, I know. That's what I get for going to school 2 hours away from home. I get to move 2,000 miles away for the draft.
Yeah, big change, right?
And has it been like nerve-wracking for you or anything like that, or have you settled in now in Salt Lake?
I think, I mean, obviously going to a new place in general sometimes, poses its obstacles and whatnot. I didn't know anyone out here. The closest relationship I had for a while was just the team administrator, because I wasn't, when I first came in here, obviously I had the quarantine and whatnot. So yeah, it was tough, trying to break into the team and form kind of like relationships there. It takes some time. I feel like I'm starting to get settled now. We've pretty much, we're out of preseason, started playing. Yeah, I mean, it's just like any transition, really. It was pretty much like the same thing going to college, where it did take me a while to get settled in and to, feel more at home while I'm playing and off the field just with the guys.
Exactly. And did anybody go with you to Utah, or you just fly solo, by yourself right now? Or did any parents, siblings go with you?
Yeah. I was solo, and that was the first time I flew solo. And so, yeah, I remember taking the flight out here, saying like goodbye to like my mom. This was like the first time I was ever flying solo. It was pretty crazy, but if anyone like knows my parents, they know that they not are overbearing or anything like that, but they do like they've already come out here 2 times, which is kind of funny because it's like 2,000 miles away, but yeah, and they're planning on coming out here again within probably around my birthday. So.
Yeah,
it's like my parents too. Yeah.
No, see, for me, I hate flying. Like, I have a wedding coming up in Chicago, and we're in New York, and like I'm driving it. Like, I'm taking an extra day off work so I could drive. Like, I'm not flying. And the fact that you flew alone, man, Whew. That's crazy, bro. But now back, you were talking about Virginia
crazy,
in college. What would you say, training at both the University of Virginia and Real Salt Lake, what would you say is, I guess, the biggest difference you've seen between both the levels?
I mean, outside of like the technical ability, which is developed through like, years of practice and whatnot, obviously the players here are a little bit older, more experienced in that realm, but there's definitely a jump in terms of intensity and in terms of just, I guess I would say commitment, maybe. I mean, I'm not trying to like, say anything bad about training EVA because it was great. The pros is just a whole nother level. I mean,
Yeah,
these guys are competing for their salaries, their livelihoods, bonuses, playing time. I mean, this is a career now. It's not just like a game, essentially. And it definitely was.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with what you're saying. And that kind of brings me up to another point. You were saying before you're a versatile player, and right here you're talking about commitment. With that being said, looking at this season alone, what would you say is a short-term goal? And again, being the 7th overall pick in this past season's MLS Super Draft, you're a young player. Do you have any long-term goals? I mean, of course you do, but I'm just curious to hear them.
Yeah. Short-term goal, winning the fields as soon as possible, make my debut. Long-term, I just want to do whatever I can to help him, whatever position I find myself, and see where it goes from there. Who knows what the future holds? If you would have told me, if you would have had me guess like 3 months ago where I would be right now, I wouldn't have said here for sure. Like this would be back in my mind. I'm like thinking, very low chance, but it happens. So anything can happen, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way of looking at it. Always stay humble and everything. And like you said, you really never know what can happen. Hopefully, you're saying that you're looking forward to making your debut and you're hoping it's soon. Hopefully, we're your good luck charm because we had our first guest on just Jason for NYCFC. He ended up making his debut right after he came on our show. So hopefully,
Hopefully
we're a
again.
good jinx and maybe you'll get your debut. If you do, man, let us
Yeah,
know.
hopefully that would be great to see.
Right, how else would that be? I feel like everyone they'd be hitting us up.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, I
But,
know.
yeah, right. Do you have anything you want to add to this, or because otherwise I have the outro question?
Hit him with the last question.
Okay, the last question I have for you, and then we could just jump into a couple other things here before we end this. Again, you're new here with Real Salt Lake. Do you have any funny stories from the locker room? Is there any kind of like superstitions players have before the game? People do weird things sometimes, or just any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like initiation, or just anything that goes on behind the scenes at Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, I can't think of an initiation per se. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I think I am, but we have this game where we have like this wheel with numbers on it that players will spin if they get like fined or whatever. And it, has like 10, 20, 40, 50, 0, double, switch, all this stuff. And a lot of guys on the team are actually like gamblers, to play poker.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, of course.
as you can imagine, we have this little game where it's like you get a group of like 5 or 6 guys and everyone spins and the lowest is pissed. And it sounds like very, I don't know, rudimentary, but like it gets, it gets rowdy and it's really, it's
Of
pretty
course,
fun.
yeah, I could imagine.
And I hopped in for the first time yesterday. Peer pressured to hop for the first time yesterday. And of course, on my first spin, I get like a 10 and, someone else gets the 40. So I have to pay out $30, which is it's $30, but it was just, I guess that's a funny story I have right now. Hopefully I get some more over the next, year or two.
Hey, $30 is $30, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, wait, did you have to pay the 30 or did you receive the 30 on that?
Oh, yeah.
I had to pay the 30. Yeah.
Oh, you had to pay
I
the
was
30?
first and I had to pay the highest. So I got 10. Yeah. And yeah. But,
Maybe
that's
next
just
time
how it
we'll
works
get the money back.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, with that, I think that actually just summed up the questions. Do you have any thoughts or anything like that for this upcoming season with Real Salt Lake?
I hope that I can help the team in whatever way they see me doing so. Obviously, I have my own, wants about, I want to do as much as I can myself. I want to play as much as I can, make as big of an impact. But I'll just, keep taking things a day at a time and getting better every day and, just going on that course.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that being said, I believe excuse me, that wraps up everything we have here, right?
I think so too. Yes.
Okay, once again, this has been Bret Halsey, the former MLS Superdraft 7th overall pick, proudly selected by Real Salt Lake. Thank you for coming on the show, and hopefully you get that debut soon.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It'd be an honor. It'd be great.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
Major Stokeage.
How awesome was Bret?
He was a great dude.
What a cool guy.
We have to have him back on again. I feel like the good thing too with a lot of these super draft guys is they like being on the show as well, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, and obviously it helps us out as well. I mean, he was such a down-to-earth dude, and definitely going to have such a strong career ahead of him. Again, very young guy, super draft, and I think he's going to be a legend there for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, down to earth, you know, father nature. Like, we love the dude.
I definitely have high levels of stoke for him, so let's get into what you guys are looking at on the screen right now. This is our favorite segment, I guess, Major Stokeage.
I didn't know it was your favorite.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite. This and Mocha Man this plays because I just like looking at those goals again, and we're talking about Stoke, and I like being stoked.
Me as well. Should we go to level 1 of Major Stokeage?
Level 1, Major Stokeage. What do you got here?
This is just stoked. But for me, my level 1, it's got to be with the viewership ratings again. We talked about it last episode.
So happy about this.
The viewers are all coming in. You know, it's crazy. And now we're beating, it said, I saw a tweet. I don't know if it's factually correct, but I assume it is, that we're actually beating the EPL in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic last weekend in ratings and rankings.
Do you know how insane that is? That's the EPL you just said, right?
EPL, man, the top, you can call it the top league in all sports.
For the casuals, English Premier League. Oh my God. Is that not like the most craziest news ever? That should be level 3. That should be the ultimate Stokeage because the EPL. It's the EPL. Do you guys know how big that is? Like, it's insane. Everybody and their grandmother knows what the EPL is. It's the top league. And the fact that Major League Soccer, a league that was once bankrupt, is now turning heads, and that demographic on that last weekend, it's incredible. Incredible.
It's crazy, man. Again, I feel like it's down to two things. One of them being Major League Soccer is becoming more and more accessible. You know, on FS1 and ESPN, we were finally getting the deals going, and now it's on TV even more than the EPL. And now with these other leagues, they're behind a paywall. EPL with Peacock, you know, before it was NBC Gold, now it's Peacock. So I feel like with these paywalls, it's even helping Major League Soccer so much more, dude.
I mean, I feel like they're just giving it to Major League Soccer, and especially with the Super League. Everyone hated that too. And then the MLS is like, hey, we ain't doing that. And then it was just like, let me see what's going on in the States. Let me see what they're doing over there, you know? And it's like, it's working good for us. No drama here. The most drama we got is Josie.
If we did do the Super League, it would just be like Atlanta and Seattle just playing each other.
Yeah, Columbus. You could throw Columbus over there.
Yeah, throw them in the Super League as well. Probably not NYCFC. We'll probably just miss the cutoff, maybe.
I think we'll miss it by a couple spots.
I think so, too.
Yeah, probably be Seattle, Atlanta United, Columbus Crew, LAFC.
Just all of Donnie's boys, you know.
Could we throw in the LAFC over there or no?
You could, yeah, definitely throw them in there.
Or maybe just a team that just doesn't belong, you know, put in like the Vancouver Whitecaps or something. Just have Cavallini just get lit up every night.
Just trying to sneak into the Super League. Like, no one's going to notice.
Just like walking in there like, oh, whoa, what am I doing over here? You know?
Exactly.
Oh, man. Okay, mine for level 2 on the Stoke meter. Can we hit that power up?
Boom.
Okay.
What's it going to be?
FC Cincinnati. Another loss. This time 3-0 to Orlando, I believe it was. And the response from the fans has been absolutely incredible. I'm loving it. And maybe if you're in the front office there at FC Cincinnati, you're not loving it because fans have taken a drastic step to show the team it's time to get better. They are sending in wooden spoons as a message to the team saying, hey, please, we've been great to you. Please be great to us. It's time to stop sucking, FC Cincinnati. Sending in culinary tools. What a lost art. I mean, that's like Hell's Kitchen right there.
Dude, the culinary device tells all. You know, again, I love what I'm seeing from the fans of FC Cincinnati finally actually putting their foot down and sending in some tools to the front office. But I'm wondering, what are they doing with it, though? Do you think they're actually just, like, getting rid of them or using them themselves?
Listen, if anybody's sending me anything, I'm probably not throwing it out. We're setting up a P.O. box. That's a message for anybody.
Like, I'm thinking, like, if I was the front office, I'd be kind of pissed. But at the same time, I'd be like, oh, like, this is, like, a free spoon that I can just use, you know?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, yeah, you definitely got us, you know? Just like putting the spoon in that front pocket. Exactly. And, like, I wonder what kind of spoons they are, you know? Different heritage has different spoons. Like I think it's Chinese, have those really deep soup spoons.
The Yadel, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, is that what it's called? The Yadel?
The Ying Yadel, yeah.
The Ying Yadel, wow. Yeah, because I remember like as a kid going into like the Chinese buffet and getting that egg drop soup and that sweet and sour, using that spoon. I was like, this is incredible. It's like a mini bowl with a handle inside my other bowl.
It's
without a
definitely
handle.
it's definitely the tool. My favorite tool for soups and stuff like that.
I
Whatnot.
think it's way ahead of its time. What a lost art that is.
But I'll tell you this: I saw a picture. I think it was more had an Italian style. It was like one of those wooden sauce spoons
Oh, it's
that
one
your
of
grandma
those?
would use or something like that.
Oh
yeah.
man. Well, maybe not anymore, but
Let's not talk about that. Let's go back to FC Cincy real quick. Again, they're playing horribly. They don't have
Yeah.
any wins on the season. They tied their first game, then they lost their last 2 games, and in total, it was 8 goals conceded, 0 goals scored for FC Cincinnati. That's just
that's
not
a
good
stat.
enough.
That's a stat to be talking about.
Yeah, man, that's definitely a stat to be talking about. That's
Is
why
that
we're talking about it
acceptable?
right now.
Is that acceptable for a team with such passionate fans? Are you just going to go out every night and put on that kind of performance? Who do you blame? Do you blame the players? Do you blame the coach? Do you blame management? Who do you blame? Do you blame them all? Where's it start, though? Where's the core of FC Cincinnati's problems?
That's a good question, man. I really don't know. I can't tell you that. I'm not a genie.
Listen, if I'm a genie in the bottle, I'm coming out and I'm making one wish, and it's for FC Cincinnati to get better because I think they're a good team. I think they have great fans, and the fans really deserve it.
They do, man. Again, they made so many good offensive acquisitions. Bernier, they still have Lacadia on loan. They got Luciano Acosta, who I believe wasn't even starting last game, which was oddly weird, not starting
now we
against
know.
Orlando.
The problem starts with the coach.
Well, I'd say the coach and the defense,
Yes.
Any single time that you have Hagelin and Pedersen playing in the back as your center back duo, that's just going to be a disaster, man.
I think so too, and that's definitely not what you want to see. You want to walk us in here to the ultimate Stokeage.
Let's do it. Ultimate Stokeage. I got to
Some
wait till
Portland
it's the top.
Timbers.
There we go. Yeah, Portland Timbers. They made a big debut there, though, goalkeeper.
yeah.
He has the name of Hunter Sulte. And read this, man. These stats are absolutely crazy, man. Jack the Beanstalk right here. The tallest goalkeeper to ever play in Major League Soccer at 6'7". He is the
Youngest,
youngest goalkeeper, and he's the second ever Alaskan-born player, bro. That's like a player that you would make in FIFA, just like a random ass dude that you just put together a bunch of stats.
Yeah, and you're like, let me just make him really tall. All right, let me give him dreadlocks, but make him pink. It's that guy.
The only difference is that was virtual. This is reality, man.
I know. It's like a glitch in the Matrix here.
It's
This
a
guy should
virtual
not be in the
reality.
league.
He shouldn't be.
But I'm happy he is. He's going to be good.
Yeah, I got to see him play as well. Dude, he's huge. Like, his head almost hits the crossbar, man. He's like a foot under it. It's absolutely insane. And again, I feel like that definitely deserves to be ultimate Stokeage, as I never saw anything like that before.
I agree. It's definitely something that rattles my dome. I
It's
hope you
kinda like-
enjoyed Major Stokeage.
It's kind of like when
okay,
it's kind of like when you go to the zoo and you just see like an animal that you never thought existed. You're like, what the hell? Like, I never knew that existed.
Yo,
You take some pictures
okay,
of
we're
it.
doing
That
this
reminds
right
me
now?
of.
Are we doing this
That
right
reminds
now?
me of Hunter.
Okay, what the hell is a lemur? Have you ever seen a lemur?
I don't think so, actually.
Dude, it was about 11 weeks ago. I went to like a zoo kind of thing, and they had these little monkey things. I thought they were, but they were all chilling, and there was this one just all by himself. And I was looking at this thing through the glass, and I was with my girlfriend. I'm like, look at this little monkey. I'm like, this thing looks absolutely insane. She's like, that's a lemur, and I'm like, the hell is a lemur? I've never heard of this thing.
Well, that's
I've never
dude in the
seen one of these
cartoon,
things.
right?
It was a boomafoo.
Yeah, the cartoon, right?
I
The
think
lemur.
it was an actor. Well, a robot. I don't think it was a paid actor.
Wait,
If
what
it
do you
is a
mean?
paid actor, that's the greatest movie I've ever seen.
I think me and you were talking about two completely different things right now.
Are you talking about Curious George? Because that's a monkey. Not a
No,
lemur.
I'm talking about the cartoon with the lion, and then you got the whole entire squad.
Oh, you talking about the Lion King?
No, not the Lion King. Never mind. Let's just go to Major
Because I'm talking about
Stokeage.
Zaboomafoo. Listen, no, you were talking about animals you've never expected before. Those things are awesome. I think that's my favorite animal,
The lemur?
the lemur.
Well, that reminds me of Hunter, dude. Again, you just never knew it existed until you actually see it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here
All
we
right.
go.
Moving on.
Major disappointment.
You want to bring them in?
Okay. Can we talk about the lesser of the Martinezes by one letter in the league right now? Can we talk about what he did to my boy Castellanos?
Well, it's kind of like he took Joseph's F and put it in the chat. That's kind of what it looks like right here.
That's
Jose
straight, was that straight from the
Martinez.
dome, or did you have that pre-written?
I had it pre-planned, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say because that's genius. I like what you just did there. But now, is that an illegal hit? Because I mean, I'm not too happy about that. I mean, I haven't even seen a move executed like that in the UFC.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even legal in the UFC. No, that's a 12-6 elbow straight to the dome. That's not even legal in the UFC. You'll be getting a big suspension and an automatic loss.
And I think the league should be looking at that. I'm not that guy. I'm a big fan and advocate of letting the boys play. But listen, when you're messing with my boys like that, come on.
Yeah, in that game, obviously Philly didn't get the DQ, but they did get the L. So,
Yes. And I was happy about that. NYCFC is looking pretty good to start the season right now. I know we're talking about major disappointment, but just looking at NYCFC as a total, feeling pretty good.
I'm
We're feeling a little
fantastic, man. We're 2 wins in a row. We did lose the first game, DC United. I think that was an anomaly, but
Yeah.
the last 2 games, insane, bro. Beating Philly 2-0 at home, that's quite the accomplishment. And
Yeah.
even before the red card, we were absolutely rocking house there at Subaru Park.
And my biggest thing too is with NYCFC is they're looking good to start the year. Again, other than that one loss, But with that being said, they're only going to get better. They got the money, and the season is in their hands right now. I think they're looking at a good start, and it's a team that can only get better. I mean, how good is that for you for the boys in blue?
I was going to add that to Major Stokeage, just NYCFC doing too good, but I feel like we are kind of biased. Yeah, we are kind of biased. We don't want to make an NYCFC podcast, so we'll leave it for another day. If they win again, maybe Major Stokeage. Mm-hmm. So should we go to the second level, I feel?
Second level of major disappointment.
Chicharito, man. Again, we talked about it before. 5 goals in 2 games. The last game against Seattle absolutely got pounded from behind, bro. Again, Seattle winning that game 3-0. Absolute stompage, bro. And Chicharito, he missed a wide open opportunity in that second half. Loved it wide. He could have got his team back into the game. Obviously, they didn't. And he even got injured, too, a little bit in that game, I believe, where I think the back of his leg, maybe his hamstring or something like that was hurting, but he still played on.
I mean, I thought he broke his toe at one point. But he stayed on the pitch. I was almost positive he got subbed out, and I didn't realize he was still on the pitch for like another 15 minutes because he was just that invisible. And there's the thing, Chicharito, I understand last season he had his own, bout of personal issues that he was, of course, dealing with. And I understand that, relationship trauma, deaths, and just everything. I mean, just the pressure being put on his back now in LA Galaxy, the most prestigious club of Major League Soccer all time. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of personal things going on in his life. And starting off the season, 5 goals in 2 games, like we said in the beginning of this podcast, absolutely incredible. But with that being said, what happened last game? Are we going to go back to the roots? Are we going to be seeing the old form of Chicharito come back? Because if so, LA Galaxy fans, it's going to be a long season, and you're seeing, he's teasing you. You saw what you can have, and then the problem is he just might take it away from you. And for me, that's just unacceptable. They're playing El Trafico, I believe tonight, actually.
Yes, they are.
I believe actually tonight, and that's the thing. If Carlos Vela is starting, because at the time of us recording this, you guys probably have more information than we do, but if Vela is playing against Chicharito, that's going to be a Battle of Los Angeles for sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, you talked about the pressure. It's kind of like a powder keg. He's just ready to explode in this league. Again, he exploded before, but not right now. And I feel like he has big shoes to fill. Again, with Zlatan, he had to fill his shoes. Zlatan, a 30-goal per game season, basically. Then he had to fill Robbie Keane's shoes. So now he's the main man, and he's not really filling up to the billing.
I agree.
It's not looking too good for Chicharito here, but we'll see. Again, El Trafico is being played later tonight, so we'll see what's happening.
The other thing that's not looking good, go up to that top disappointment right there.
Did we hit it?
What do we have that listed as? Major disappointment?
This is the major disappointments.
Okay, listen, here's the thing. I like you. I really do. But Minnesota United, what's going on over there? 0 wins on the season and only 1 goal so far. And hold your horses. It's nothing impressive. It wasn't against any kind of great team. And I'm not dissing. I do kind of just support you guys. I feel bad for you. But that 1 goal was against Real Salt Lake.
I thought they're going to be, dude, coming to this season, I thought they're going to be a dark horse, a stallion, but they ended up being a pony. They're not that good.
Not again, the pony, they're a goddamn donkey.
Again, dude, 0 wins, only 1 goal on the season.
Yeah.
Their last 3 games, Seattle beating them 4-0. Then at home, they lose to Real Salt Lake. Again, we don't know if Real Salt Lake's a good team. On paper, though, they're not the strongest. And you lose to them at home. You can't be doing that against Real Salt Lake. And then they lose at home again to Austin, a new expansion team.
I do have some notes jotted down over here on my laptop, They are having some injuries right now from DIB and Opara. Obviously, their defense is a liability right now, but you can't put all the blame on that. I mean, I'm a big advocate also of when the player's down, the whole team can fold, like Toronto is right now with Pozuelo. When you're looking at a team like Minnesota, gotta get it together here.
Especially when you still have Reynoso. If Reynoso was missing, that would be another story. Then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to be better later this season when he gets healthy. Kind of like with Toronto and Pozuelo. Yeah. But in this situation, they almost have a full-strength team, and they're still not doing anything. Not putting any numbers up, so.
Is Ike Opara the guy that's just going to, no, I love Ike Opara, don't get me wrong, but is Ike Opara just going to come back from the grave here and the team's going to go on and win it all? No, he's not that guy. He's a great depth guy to have. He's one of your top guys, don't get me wrong, but he's not a guy that's going to make it or break it for you.
Well, with all those concussions, man, he's like in another dimension right now, you could say.
I don't even think he knows what league he plays in right now. No, joking aside, you can't blame it on injuries because those aren't the guys that are going to come back and make that big of a difference. And I'm not discrediting them. I'm just saying Minnesota, I think, has a lot more internal issues than they want to
believe, yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, too, the one shred of hope I see is Adrian Huno. Again, the man from Stade Rennais. We're still waiting for him to get into the squad. I think he's still in France. COVID's making everything crazy nowadays. But again, he's an offender. He's a winger. He can also play as a striker. He's very versatile. But he's not going to help that defense. Right now, that defense looks like Swiss cheese in Minnesota.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Minnesota really has to pull it together. I mean, the Good thing is, though, I mean, we're talking as if we're halfway through the season. Season just started. Anything can happen. I mean, Real Salt Lake can win it all. We don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again.
LAFC can miss the playoffs. Anything can happen. It's so early on. It's early. Anything can happen.
Again, obviously we're pundits, so we got to make it kind of interesting. We got to kind of overreact to this. But again,
Exactly.
we're only 2-3 games in, depending on what team you are. So there's still a long ways to go this season. And with that, there's a long ways to go with the MLS Fantasy season. Should we head over?
Yeah, let's head over to our favorite.
MLS Fantasy.
I just your favorite segment?
Well,
Is
your favorite
every segment apparently your favorite?
I was going to say your favorite segment because
I
I know
call
how
you
much
out.
you like MLS Fantasy because I'm
I
not
do.
enjoying my time in MLS Fantasy. My first 2 weeks, I was just so sloppy with, and I kept forgetting to change my lineups. Like, I was just talking about Iko Para. I had him on my team for the first 2 weeks, knowing he wasn't playing, and I just kept saying, I got to change that. And then I kept forgetting to change it. So I finally changed it to like 3 minutes before like that game started last week. And I did pretty good. I had a win. You know, the guy I was playing wasn't playing. So, you know, that's a dub right there. But I'm doing pretty good. So
I was
I'm pretty
gonna say,
happy.
yeah.
I have some changes I want to make. I mean, maybe I had Carlos Hill. Oh my God.
I was going to say, man, you having a bad time. You're in 24th place right now. You have 2 wins and 1 loss.
Yeah.
You know, if you're actually in the league, you'd be like in 2nd, 3rd place right now. NYCFC has the same record, and we're in 2nd. So
Yeah.
you're doing fantastic. You're ahead of me. Again, for me, dude, devastating loss. I was versing a Portland Timbers fan, and I lost by 5 points, dude. 5 points. Again, I thought they were going to give me the tie because it was so close, but I lost on the day, and now I have a losing record, 1-2.
Who's the hottest guy right now in MLS Fantasy? Who would you pick up? Because next week, I'm adding Carlos Hill.
There's a
Especially if
couple.
he was captain. What was that, 34 points?
34, yeah. I believe KBFC had one. Again, I'm watching KBFC's team as she is a New York City FC fan. She had him, 34 points if you made him captain.
Oh my God, that's absolutely insane. I know I'm adding him, and I had Chicharito off, and then I added him, and now I'm going to be taking him off again because I'm not feeling too confident, you know. I don't really know who I'm going to add. I mean, definitely going to have Hill on there. But other than that, I'm not too sure. I made some strange move. I made, who did I make captain last week for my squad? I think it was Andre Blake. I did something a little strange. You know, I was feeling a little spicy, and I was feeling spicy, and I did that, and it didn't pay off for me. But Andre Blake, he's been good.
It was better than me, though. I made Reynoso my captain. I got 2 points on the day. That's pathetic. But
That is pathetic.
Speaking of good players, getting Cade Cowell, again, he got me 16 points. And then
Yeah.
Brad Smith absolutely killed me, man.
guy.
Again, my opponent had Brad Smith. I'm pretty sure he got, 18 points for Brad Smith, bro.
Hey, new cut who this? I mean, he's coming in pretty hot this season.
If you made him your captain, that's like 40 points right there. You're guaranteed to
insane.
win.
It's literally insane how a simple change like that can change everything for you.
And now let's head over to this week. I'm versing actually an NYCFC fan called Sandbaggers. So
Sandbagger.
NY on NY crime right here.
Ooh, I like it so much.
And we'll see what happens. Again, it's kind of fitting that the first place person in the league isn't even really American. I think that's South Korean, right?
I can't see from here, but I can tell you what, it's not English.
Yeah, it's definitely not in English. It's fitting, though, if that person does win. Kudos to them. They're an Austin FC fan.
Mm-hmm.
And with that kind of sums up this 3rd episode of MLS Cafe.
Yes, it does. See
Stay
you guys next
caffeinated.
week.
Hogan's Hot Takes, brother. Welcome back to the first experience of Hogamania's Hot Takes. I got a whole lot of takes that are steaming hot. So where are you gonna be when I come knocking on your front door every Saturday morning with some hot-ass takes? The first take that comes hook smashing into my dome is Paxton Bombs of the FC Dallas franchise should be starting in this arena. I don't understand why he's not. Philadelphia, where you gonna be in this offseason? You'll be sitting at home, cause I'm not sold on the Union. You snakes are gonna be watching from home. No playoffs, wooden spoon season for you, baby. Where the is Carlos Vela? I'm calling you out, brother. The greatest goaltender in the Major League Soccer community, brother, is Sean Johnson. Say what you will, brother, but I like Michael Bradley.